Hi, let us now look at societal marketing assessment criteria 3.2. So in this area of study, we are going to determine the objectives and goals which align to the organization's purpose to meet customers and other stakeholders' requirements in terms of societal change. So in this area, we are going to focus on some important theories. And these are the indicative content that you see on the right-hand side. And we are going to cover each of them. So what is responsible marketing? Responsible marketing is something that is critical for an organization to practice today, because today consumers are increasingly demanding companies to be ethical and responsible. So it includes ethical marketing, sustainability marketing, what we have been discussing for a long time, corporate social responsibility, CSR, corporate governance, green marketing, societal marketing, cause-related marketing, and concepts such as environmentalism. Okay, so all these things encompass being a responsible organization. So there are important aspects in responsible marketing. So there was an author who wrote a book on responsible marketing. The author put forward 4 key aspects or 4 keys to practice responsible marketing. They are: reach for more, make it inclusive, authentic, make it known, and make it count. So ask yourself about these 4 important areas. Number 2, keep it real, solve real problems, tell real stories, create real opportunities, influence real policies. So these are, if you like, how responsible marketing will come together. The third one is make it happen, cultivate cultural literacy, choose cheerleader, champion, or catalyst. Those are the different roles which we'll go through. Breakthrough or buy-in, get it wrong the right way. And finally, commit, lead responsibly, work together responsibly, choose the right resources. So if you are to practice responsible marketing, these are the 4 keys according to this theory that you need to be mindful about. So why is responsible marketing important? Companies need to practice it because it builds trust, improves customer centricity, meeting regulatory compliance, enhances reputation, brand loyalty, social responsibility, and it supports sustainability and long-term brand success. So all this is to justify the need for responsible marketing. I mean, think about it. Are marketers responsible? Do they put their hand up and say, we cause a lot of problems in the environment? Think about it. Think about all the unwanted products we sell. Think about the pollution that we contribute to. Not only the plastic or the waste pollution, the media pollution, eye pollution. Think about all the unwanted products that we create a big demand and sell. So marketers are guilty of not being responsible citizens. And therefore, it is important today that marketers practice responsible marketing. So the social criticisms of marketing today, even if you look at the number one consumed carbonated drink in the world, is the most unhealthy product, Coca-Cola. And these are some of the criticisms. Criticisms of marketing as a profession. Marketers charge higher prices, sometimes with which is not justified, and consumers will need to buy the products because there's no other alternative. Deceptive practices, high pressure selling, shoddy, harmful, and unsafe products, planned obsolescence, poor service to disadvantaged customers, creating false wants and cultural pollution. So these are some of the sins of marketing. Marketers are guilty of these sins. So to negate this, to circumvent this, we need to be responsible. We need to be responsible. Our profession needs to be responsible. Marketers and marketing as a role and as a profession must increasingly become responsible and think about the ethical stance. Then this concept of consumerism, the rise of consumerism. What is consumerism? Consumerism is defined as a movement. It's a movement, right? Where the buyers will put pressure on the sellers. Consumers will get together and boycott products. Consumers will get together and boycott products. Then the sellers will need to all get their act together and ensure that the buyers, the customers, are taken care of. So the consumers have certain rights, right? The right to introduce any product in any size and style. So these are the seller's rights, and then you have the buyer's rights. So the seller has the right to introduce any product in size or style, provided it is not hazardous. The right to charge any price, the right to spend any amount to promote the product, the right to use whatever product messaging as long as it's not misleading and dishonest, the right to buying incentive programs provided they are not unfair and misleading. So these are the seller's rights. Now the buyers also have rights. The right to buy a product that is offered for sale. The right to expect the product to be safe. The right to expect the product to perform as claimed. So these are some of the consumer's rights and the seller's rights. And the concept of consumerism is on the rise. What is this concept of tokenism? It is increasingly practiced. So you need to study this. Tokenism is the practice of including a member from a marginalized community just to portray an image of diversity within a target group. So you are doing it not genuinely. You are just doing it just to ensure that you comply. So tokenism is a practice of including a member from the marginalized community just to portray an image of diversity, right, in the organization. So there are a few things that marketers should consider when driving the sustainability agenda. So marketing can focus on ED&I, societal marketing, improving the environmental focus, as well as the organization's ethical focus. All this has to be positioned carefully in the mind of the customer. We already know what ED&I is: equality, diversity, and inclusion policies. We have discussed this before. So increasingly today in the West, all companies are called to have a policy on ED and I. Maybe some Sri Lankan companies that you are a part of don't have it. That is because it's not important here in Sri Lanka to have it, because consumers don't demand for it. It is not law. But in the West, all companies are mandated to have a ED and I policy, especially in Britain, since you are doing a British exam. In terms of ethical labor practices, we have discussed this as well before. Company needs to focus on ethical labor practices. I mean, HR will look through this, but marketers also have a responsibility in framing its message so that you sell ethical products, you sell ethical services, and you communicate to the customer that you practice ethical labor practices. So fair wages, safe working conditions, companies like MAS have excelled in this area in Sri Lanka. Equal opportunity employment, comprehensive employee benefits, health insurance, work-life balance, respect for privacy, support mental health and well-being, which is increasingly important post-COVID, the freedom of speech, and transparent communication. Basically, the staff members must be happy, must be satisfied, and happy to come to work in the morning, especially if you are having a factory. The factory workers, their happiness index, the rating that they give the company on the happiness index must go up. So it's not an easy thing to achieve. Then there are ethical certifications that you can get. Again, we have looked at this before, like fair trade. Fair trade is a product certification system, right? Fair trade, I have included a video. You need to study what fair trade is. Go on to their website, where the social, economic, and environmental aspects of production are certified against fair trade standards for producers and traders. So if you have the fair trade logo, you then know that you are paying your suppliers a fair value. The fair trade system monitors the buying and selling of the product until it is consumer packaged and labeled. So fair trade, this is the logo. Fair trade changes lives by changing trade. This is their motto. It transfers wealth back to farmers and workers in developing countries who deserve a decent income and decent work. So fair trade is something that many companies today embrace, and it's difficult to get this logo on their products. But if you do get this logo on their products, you know that sometimes the price is high. And why is it high? Because they are a fair trade certified organization. We are the leading independent global movement for trade justice. And we are still the most recognized and trusted sustainable trading standard in many leading markets. So watch the video, go on to their website. I have included it. Organic certified is another ethical certification. And there are many institutions that certify organic farming, organic food. Okay. So organic food and farming that is governed by legal standards, organic certified. Anyone labeling their product as organic must be registered with an approved control body, such as organic farmers or the growers or the soil association, and undergo regular inspections to ensure that they meet the strict organic standards. Only then can their products legally be labeled and marketed as organic. So these are some of the organic certifiers in the UK. These are some of the organic certified. If you only see these logos, that means they're genuine organic tested certifiers. Of course, there are some people who greenwash their products and come up with similar logos just to hoodwink customers, but that this is where awareness matters. Customers should know that these are the organizations that are organic certifiers in the UK. And then you have the Forest Stewardship Council. Its mission is to promote environmentally sound, socially beneficial, and economically prosperous management of the world's forests. Their vision is that they meet current needs of forest products without without compromising the health of the world's forests for future generations. So watch the videos on all this. I have included some videos on this. You need to study these because you can get questions on these areas. Just as we depend on forest depends on us. At the Forest Stewardship Council, we unite individuals, businesses, governments, NGOs under one common goal: protecting healthy, resilient forests for all forever. The Forest Stewardship Council. So if you have this logo displayed on your packs, if you are having a working relationship with the FSC, that means usually your price is higher because you are protecting the forests of your country. The Forest Stewardship Council Forest Management Certification confirms that the forest is being managed in a way that preserves biological diversity and benefits the lives of local people and workers, whilst ensuring it sustains economic viability. The Forest Stewardship Council certified forests are managed to strict environmental, social, and economic standards. So please watch these videos carefully and go to their websites. The Green Claims Code is another important one. Right? So the Green Claims Code outlines what is necessary for sustainability, claims to maintain transparency and avoid greenwashing. So this is very, very important that you substantiate your green claims, and avoid greenwashing. So watch the video on the Green Claims Code. Let us now look at ethical issues in marketing with regards to the 4Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. So ethical product related issues are failing to disclose risks associated with the product, information, the usage, and failing to disclose information about the changes in the nature, quality, and size of the product. So overall, you offer a product that is not what it is claimed to be. That is unethical. Okay. Price fixing, predatory pricing, failing to disclose the full price of the purchase. All these are ethical issues that you need to manage. Distribution, that is place, failing to live up to the rights and responsibilities associated with suppliers, manipulating product availability, coercion. All these are distribution related issues in ethical marketing. And finally, promotion, false or misleading advertising, which is very, very frequent, using manipulative, deceptive sales promotions and tactics, offering or accepting bribes in personal selling. So these are some of the unethical standards that marketers should avoid with regards to the 4Ps in marketing. So what this diagram tells us is that there are 4 ways to classify marketing decisions according to ethical and legal relationships. So if it's ethical and legal, that is the correct choice. Sometimes there are legal but unethical things. So there's a question mark there. It is legal, but it is unethical. It is illegal, but ethical. It's illegal, then you should not look at it. And if it's unethical and illegal, then definitely not. Right? So you need to push for ethics, a highest standards in ethics and legality. But sometimes this area is open to interpretation. It is legal. Some may say it is unethical. To some, it might be ethical. Okay. And then when we look at the ethical marketing mix, we talk about product responsibility, ensuring that you practice responsible marketing, price transparency, channel fairness, and promotion with honesty. So these are the 4 important factors that marketers need to practice with regards to the ethical marketing mix. And then when you talk about positioning statements, the 4th P, product, price, place, promotion. Positioning comes under promotion. Positioning purpose over products and services means prioritizing a brand's deeper mission, values, and societal impact over simply promoting what it sells. And here are how companies do that. They position purpose over products and services. Patagonia is one great example. We've been talking about it quite a bit. We are in the business to save our planet, our home planet. That's the positioning statement. Tesla says accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. Dove, real beauty. Tom's, one-for-one giving model. IKEA, better everyday life for many people. Warby Parker, we spoke about this example. Buy a pair, give a pair. The Body Shop, business as a force for good. And Lego, I mean, think about children's toy company still practicing, something because they are selling plastic. They're damaging the environment. So to negate that from the other side, they have to ensure that they do something towards sustainability. And their slogan is inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow. So in terms of changing consumer attitudes and behavior, I mean, it's very difficult to change consumer attitudes, but post-COVID, you can see when there is a huge threat, when there is a huge calamity, consumers change their behavior. And there are many who changed the way of thinking post-COVID. We call it the new normal. They shifted towards sustainable and ethical consumption. Green consumerism. More people are switching to organic, vegan, carbon neutral, upcycle products, as you can see here. This company talks about recrafting your shoes. Don't buy new shoes. We will recraft your leather shoes better than new because they are yours. This is a genuine company. Demand for ethical brands, companies with fair trade, cruelty-free, or sustainable sourcing see increased sales. Rise of the circular economy, growth in second-hand shopping or pre-loved, product recycling, and zero waste improvements. Price sensitivity remains a barrier. Many consumers want sustainability, but hesitate if it costs significantly more. That's why if you buy a Patagonia jacket, it is much more expensive than the normal other brands that you will buy, right? So sustainability comes at a price. So in terms of the level of understanding and the acceptance within the different market segments, in terms of economically, that is different income and affluence levels will understand sustainability differently. Generationally, increasingly you find the new millennials, the Gen X, the Gen Z, or also environmental conscious, societal and aware of all the societal impact, because they are still young. They know that they have to live and their children has to live in this world. So generation, the level of understanding and the acceptance might be different. Geographically, there are cultural differences between regions, and societally, there is gender, religious groups, and ethnicities. So you can see the level of understanding of societal marketing, societal impact, sustainability, environmentalism will vary from all these types of people that you see here. Cause-related marketing is to embrace a cause. And Coca-Cola has a lovely campaign that I have included in a video called the Arctic Home, where Coca-Cola talks about how they conserve the white polar bears in the Arctic Circle. So that's a cause that they support, Coca-Cola. Cause-related marketing refers to the practice in which companies allocate a portion of their revenue generated from product sales to support a cause. Consumers who value the cause more highly tend to exhibit greater willingness to pay for the product, right? So that is cause-related marketing. Social marketing is an approach used to develop activities aimed at changing or maintaining people's behavior for the benefit of individuals and society as a whole. So this is a very impactful campaign, as you can see here. Can you see how this company is advertising to give? Even as you go to the supermarket and you buy all these things, you have poor people in poor countries who don't have anything to eat. So you can see how the Feed SA charity, how they are asking people to donate, because there are a lot of people in the world who don't have food to eat. So overconsumption is a problem. And this is the concept of social marketing. And it's a very creative ad. And finally, we talk about the three types of economies: linear economy, recycling economy, and circular economy. So the linear economy is very straightforward. You buy, you make, you use, and you dispose. Today, this is looked down on. Today, you're talking about recycling, but a greater form of recycling is the circular economy. So recycling is you buy, you take, you make, you use, you recycle, and what you can't, you dispose. But the circular economy talks about take what you only need, minimal take, make, remanufacture and harvest parts, refurbish, repair, reuse, redistribute, recycle. Right? And this is the circular economy that we talk, where there is minimal waste. So today, this is something that we need to focus on in sustainable and societal marketing. All right. So with that, we conclude our discussion on assessment criteria 3.2. I will see you in assessment criteria 3.3.